everybody? We're back. Coming to you from Koreatown on a beautiful California evening. It is the Ozone. I am your host, Omar Miller. I'm here with my brother, who we have been on the road, folks. It's the Icons, Terry Miller. How you feeling? Angry Black, ladies and gentlemen. Angry Black is here present. Angry Black, you're wearing Indians today. I like that. You know how I feel about the Indians. I feel good about Cleveland. Yeah. Cleveland.
Too bad they're not going anywhere.
And too bad we were on the road to watch another suspect decision.
Oh, yeah.
In the Canelo Triple G rematch. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's get
Canelo
to
Triple
it.
G story.
I mean, imagine. Let's just hear just a little bit of the crowd noise. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a serious event in Vegas. Serious event in Vegas. And I'm here to tell you, everything happened so fast that night. Everybody got knocked out so quick in the undercards that it seemed as though Golden Boy had to figure out how to stall to get everybody in the arena. I was surprised that Spike O'Sullivan got knocked out by David Lemieux in the first round. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a prediction that was going to be a really, really competitive match,
and it was not.
Psych.
Yeah, right. You must be joking. And but one of the things that we're very, very happy about is that Chocolatito, Roman Gonzalez came back, and I'm really, really happy for him. He got back in the ring. He chunked him. And
somebody to sleep,
and he did what he does,
make somebody take a nap.
He did that because what people forget is that Chocolatito was the pound for pound man for probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years. He was at the top of people's pound for pound list, and it's just great to see a guy get back in. He had a really rough go with 2 fights against the Thai homie. Had a rough fight against Quadras, to be honest, even though he won the fight, but a lot of punishment. The little guys throw a lot of punches. And it's good to see him back in the ring and doing well. I really wish him success.
I like him just because he was so nice to me.
And then there's that.
He was he's a nice guy. He asked about my family and everything.
Come on, man.
Like, wow, okay.
That's where Roman wants to go. He would know what's up with the fam.
Hey, how's your family?
Straight away.
Yeah, wow. We didn't even get into it. Let me get into it.
The spirit might have put it on him.
He did. He wanted to check in.
And next thing you know, it was go time for the fight. Now let me set the scene. It was very bizarre because they didn't do either fighter's national anthem.
Very bizarre.
And they didn't do the United States national anthem.
Any of them. I mean, like.
Yeah. So what they're saying is that, I want to tell you this, what I heard is that they're saying they did the national anthem.
For everybody?
Yeah.
Early?
And they did it early at like 4:30 or something like that.
That doesn't work for me.
Well, it doesn't work for me either.
I need to hear it. I need to hear the Star Spangled Banner.
I need to hear the Star Spangled Banner. I need to hear everybody's national anthem at the beginning because, honestly, that should get the guys even more pumped up. You remember that you represent.
Right. And just to show respect for the states because even though both guys may be not from the United States, it still shows respect to the United States.
100%.
Even if somebody decided to kneel or not stand for it, whatever, play it.
Yeah, right. That's on them.
Opportunity to do that.
That's on them. And I was very surprised. And so, you know, that started off the evening in a bizarre way, but setting the scene, man, you guys saw the replay or you saw it live. I mean, everybody was there from Iron Mike to Will Smith to Denzel Washington, to Mark Wahlberg to you name it. I mean, I even think Donald Trump might have been there in disguise.
In a mask.
It was, yeah, exactly. It was going down. It was a great night, but let's get to the fight. We all know what happened in the first fight. I think universally it's agreed that Triple G got robbed in the first fight. And in the second fight, Triple G and his trainer, Abel Sanchez, goaded Canelo to come forward and fight, quote, Mexican style. And he did that. He showed up and he stood in the middle of the ring and he traded blows. I personally cannot believe the intensity and the pace of this fight. This fight had less clinches than any fight I've ever seen, to be honest.
Really?
Have you seen a fight with more, maybe... I mean, these guys are finely conditioned because they didn't. If you rewatch the fight, they didn't clinch. There was no hugs.
Back in the day, that's Mexican style because Julio Cesar Chavez back in the day never clinched.
Right, and he knocked about 87 fools out before he got a draw.
Yeah.
But that's my point. For both guys to be able to go was very, very impressive, in my opinion.
Yeah, Mexican style, man. That's the way it went down. It was let's meet mano y mano. Let's meet in the middle of the ring and do it. I mean, a lot of times what I've been hearing, which I really don't agree with, is that Canelo was the aggressor. He had the ring general thing going.
You know what? And I think
I don't agree.
Now, I think that people are giving him credit because he actually stood there toe-to-toe, and he did move forward. I'm not even taking that away from him.
He did move forward sometimes, but to act like he just controlled the bout is not true.
It's not accurate, and I think that is part of the false narrative that's getting tossed around. There's a few things that really bothered me. One, people are sitting around saying that Triple G is literally only through jabs. And two, there's something else that people act like throwing jabs and connecting with jabs, it doesn't equal controlling the fight. In a lot of ways, that's exactly how you can control a fight, especially when the guy is coming forward.
And he did.
And he did that. And he got caught with a couple body shots early that made him think. And I don't think the Triple G got credit for enough for his defense because he blocked a lot of shots. This would have been a good fight. I keep hearing about the WBC lobbying for the the judges to wear headphones because with the fight being on Mexican Independence Weekend with a Mexican fighter fighting, the crowd was going crazy whenever Canelo lifted a hand.
A predominantly Hispanic crowd.
Yeah. It was a lot of it was a Latin-friendly crowd, a Latino-friendly crowd that then they really wanted Canelo to win, and I think the crowd did a lot to will him to win that fight. And I think that he
didn't win that fight.
I mean, I'm going as per the judges. I don't think. Let's get this straight off the top. Yeah. I don't think he won the fight.
You sound like you wavering. You on the waiver
wire. No. I'm not fooling with the waiver wire. Even though I was looking for a running back this week in my fantasy football team, but we'll get to that later.
Corey Clement.
Everybody got him already.
He didn't do nothing. So I digress. Let's go.
But early in the fight, there's a couple factors that I want to add here. Triple G may have given up too much before the fight even started. For one, again, he came out first.
Right.
With a parade of guys to hold his belts. He's the champion. I don't know what era you guys grew up in, but the way that it's supposed to work is the champ comes out last. He might play games in the locker room and make you wait.
I won't put you on pins and needles.
I'm the champ. That's how it goes.
I might come out an hour late.
It's up to me. He
Take a nap.
It's like Prince. He might come out when I get there. I'm playing games in the back right now. I'm tuning up my guitar.
And you know Mike, when he wasn't champ, remember Mike Tyson back in the day, he punched a hole in the wall. He was so mad he had to wait.
He was so mad.
He had to wait. Yeah. You made me wait?
Yeah. Club of leg style. Home boy. Got some more for you. Yeah, so then he did that. Canelo comes out with the champion's welcome. And all of these close rounds, now I do believe that the rounds were close, and part of the reason and what Canelo did effectively was fight in spurts. If you go watch videos of Canelo train, Canelo very, very rarely trains for 3 minutes straight. And he very rarely fights 3 minutes of a round.
Well, as we were watching the fight, I told you to remember the good old Sugar Ray Leonard.
Post-retina problem.
Yeah. Where you fight the 10, 15 seconds in the beginning. It's just like having your story. You 15 seconds in the beginning, 10 to 15 seconds in the middle, and 10 to 15 seconds at the end. And the judges look at that as if you've been doing your thing and you've been fighting for 45 seconds total.
Yeah.
Which is not fair to a guy who's literally putting it all on the line. Now, Gennady did not work the body, which I felt like if he would have, it would have probably put Canelo on his back because he probably got brain damage after all those
He took a lot of punishment. And let's go to that. Let's go to that stat as well. Again, Gennady landed more punches. Again, a problem this time is that for people, apparently, is that he landed a lot of jabs and less power punches. I have a real serious problem with this false narrative, everybody saying that he only landed jabs, because he snapped his neck a lot with uppercuts. He snapped his neck with the jab. The straight right, I've seen Canelo be very vulnerable to straight rights right down the middle.
Wow.
And big left hooks.
Wow, I would like to audit the stat. What is it?
The CompuBox?
The CompuBox stat, because I don't feel like Canelo landed more power punches than Gennady. Honestly, I'm a Gennady fan now. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah. There's a bias there.
Yeah,
but I'm
telling you what I saw from ringside, and then what I watched on the broadcast. And,
right.
And it did not look like, because a lot of those were being blocked. And
he was rolling, he was blocking. Now, here's another thing that I wanted to cover. I personally, let me put my score out. I personally had the fight 7-5 for Gennady. I think that 7-5 was fair, and honestly, I had it 6-4-2. But since they've eliminated the even round, which I think is terrible, I have to give the even rounds. I split them down the middle. I gave one to the champ and one to the challenger, which led me to 7-5. Now, with what you're saying about the CompuBox and this, that, and the other, I saw Gennady win rounds in a way that you're not used to seeing him win rounds. That seems to throw people off because people forget that he was an Olympic fighter.
Right. Well, and he's probably going to have Anthony Joshua's probably going to have the same type of problem that Gennady has because they're fundamentally and technically sound. And nowadays, people want to see dudes just come out balls to the walls and just start throwing.
And this is what Canelo did.
Yeah, and
Canelo was reaching and leaping,
he was unorthodox. I mean,
yeah.
It was just not the way that you're supposed to fight.
Yeah,
and,
it was rage.
Yeah, and one of the problems with Gennady was that he could not put him on his back. Now, for me, the problem is more so than anything is taking all these the champion's belt. Like I had a problem with Sugar Ray Leonard taking Marvin Hagler's belt by not dominating. If you're going to take a guy who has 4 belts,
should have 5.
The
only reason that he doesn't have 5 is because Canelo got caught on the juice,
right? And
which then in turn made him miss a mandatory.
Yeah. So in that, you're going to take this guy's belt on a maybe.
On a maybe.
On a question mark. And I don't even feel like when you
rewatch the fight, after watching the replay yesterday, folks, I was even more convinced, as you can tell by my Twitter, I was even more convinced that he won the fight than
watching ringside.
But
the problem is as well is that everybody out there, you guys need to start watching the fight without the sound on to have the
sway.
Roy Jones and
Max Kellerman.
Max Kellerman's trying to sway you the way that that they want you to buy into, because if you just turn the volume down, watch the fight, and you'll see the fight.
And clearly, there's an agenda in boxing, which is part of the problem with boxing.
Yeah, the politics of it all.
But in this scenario, I think there's a few things that happen. But let's get through the analysis of the fight. All right, I thought the early rounds were pretty even. And in those even rounds, I like the champ because he was doing more with the jab. In the mid rounds, I would say 3-7, maybe something like, or 4-7, something like that. Canelo had some more punching power, but what I saw was, and I saw this all night, just like I saw in the first fight, Canelo doesn't do a lot of combination punching and landing.
He's a one-punch fighter.
Yeah, and honestly, after this fight, and he goes back and has to fight the other middleweights, I actually think he would do best to fight Gennady again because it's a favorable fight and it's the devil you know, if you will. Because if he fights the bigger Charlo...
Well, they're saying he's going to fight Lemieux probably.
Which is an ridiculous fight.
Yeah.
If he fights Charlo, if he fights Danny Jacobs, if he fights these guys that are at 160, that are legit 160 and super athletic,
they're going to put him to sleep.
I think they're going to give him a very serious it might be a short night even.
I think Danny Jacobs will give him a short night.
I think Danny has...
Relieve him of his belts.
Honestly, I think Danny, at this point, has worked for Gennady and Canelo because of the punishment that they both have taken and given to each other.
Right.
And Gennady's, now he's older. It'd still be a hard fight. It's still going to be hard. But Danny has that kind of ability. Now, from the latter part of the fight, I saw pure domination from Gennady Golovkin. I mean, from like 10 to 12, don't even bring it up.
Right.
There was a point when he actually
championship rounds.
did the championship rounds. When he got on the ropes, he got him on the ropes and opened up on him. Now, Canelo showed a monster chin, crazy heart. But just because you stand in the middle of the ring with somebody does not mean that you win the fight.
Right. Nor does whoever's faces the swollen.
This is the other false narrative. Can we stop this madness? The guy has soft skin. He gets marked up. It's the same nonsense that everybody. It's got a great lubricant endorsement. All right. The guy probably, it's the same scenario that happened when he fought Danny Jacobs. And he won the fight against Danny Jacobs. Stop with that. And everybody tries to act like because he didn't get knocked out that Danny won the fight.
Right.
And because that the way that Gennady's face was marked after the fight. You can't take a guy's face as the evidence of who won the fight.
Right.
And let's not act like.
Maybe that's on the streets.
Yeah, exactly.
Say, oh, man, you saw that, man? He got a black eye.
Yeah, man, he leaking, boy.
Hey, man, why you leaking like that?
But let's not act like Canelo was ready for a beauty contest after the fight either.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of false narratives going on.
There is.
But the whole conspiracy thing. There is a conspiracy behind the scenes of all of this because they love to get a good three-peat going.
They love to get a good three-peat.
Now,
records were protected.
Right, and my biggest problem is that now Gennady has nothing to leverage.
He probably fight part 3 for about $3 million.
Yeah, and he has before he had everything on. He was the one that brought everything to the table.
He
had all the belts. He
didn't bring that's the thing. When it came to the Latino crowd, who is a giant supporter of boxing, Canelo definitely brings that to the table.
Okay,
and even though they were rubbed sour with the beef, with the clenbuterol, and also with the way that he fought in the first fight, and that honestly might have taken years off of his career. This fight that he just fought.
Yeah, but
honestly,
yeah.
Now there's a few things, a couple of other things I want to unpack about the situation.
Well, unpack your luggage.
Let's do it. Is that this is more evidence of the changes that need to be made in boxing. Just like there's changes that need to be made in just like there's
White House?
There's changes that need to be made, in politics and in the White House. I think this fight right here showed some changes that need to be made in the world of boxing. For one, and I've talked about this for a while, and I really maintain this, there shouldn't be a secret to what the score is.
Right.
This is the only sport that is played where the competitors don't know the score. Can you imagine LeBron James and the Cavs playing the Warriors, and then literally they're waiting for the last buzzer to find out who won?
Right.
This is the only sport, and I understand the element of suspense. I get it, but this is something that needs to be clear because it would clear the air on a lot of the confusion and problems that people have with boxing and with judges.
Well, my problem with judging a boxing match, if you're not going to let the scores be known, let these judges
be a part of the press conference.
Yes, let them out there. Let them be held accountable.
We've been backstage at some of the fights, folks, where the judges, you wouldn't trust the judges to drive on the freeway. The judges are what that we saw at one of the fights after the fight. Well, honestly, the judges were all 85 plus, maybe 80 plus.
Looks like oxygen tanks and wheelchairs.
And you couldn't even, they had the Coke bottle thick glasses. There's no way these guys can judge a fight accurately.
Right. It's like having the old refs running on the corridor in football. They usually can't keep up with the pace of the game.
Yeah.
So they have to make a call on what they thought they saw and not what actually is going on the field or whatever.
Which is again why the crowd's oohs and ahs would have a big effect.
Yeah, why it would sway you because especially because I thought that Gennady had won the fight sitting ringside. How many rows were we back?
7 rows, something like that. Yeah, I think we're 7 rows back.
10 rows back at least. But the thing of it is that once I rewatched the fight on television, I was more convinced, and I saw even more effective defense by Gennady than I had with my own eyes next to the ring. I could, and I just don't understand how people could see that fight being close like that. To me, I feel I'm different than you because I feel like Gennady had control over the fight all the way up into the 4th or 5th round. I felt like he won most of the early rounds, and I felt like Canelo probably maybe won or tied.
Snuck in 5 to 8.
Maybe. I mean, he snuck in 5 to 8, but he was a one-punch fighter. I mean, and that makes a big difference because
it does.
When you go back and look at the highlights and you can see Triple G landing combination, he'll go head, he'll go 1-1-2 or 2-1 body or something like that.
Yeah, or uppercut.
Or uppercut because you can
jab uppercut. He'll lift him up, he'll lift his head up and then come with the hook. He'll go uppercut hook.
And one of the trending things to me in boxing this year, it seems like everybody's going for that liver shot a lot more.
They are.
And Gennady saw early that he was
Canelo was trying to get that liver shot
on him, and he closed it up. And then Canelo hit him with a couple of uppercuts a couple of times, and he shut that down.
He caught a lot of those uppercuts.
Then he got into the phone booth with him, and then they started working on the inside, and Canelo wasn't landing. And Gennady was actually landing his uppercut.
And then let's say something else, too, that I'll give credit to Canelo. I'm not a fan of it. But Canelo pulled out all the stops, folks. He held and hit. He hit him on his hip. He hit him below the belt. He pulled every trick in the book that he could hit that he could do.
Let you know he's from B-Hop camp.
and he let you know he really wanted to win the fight. And in that, I respect that because it is a fight.
It's a fight.
But at the same time, even that time, Gennady could have took a really cheap shot when Canelo slipped. I think it was the 11th round, maybe 11th or 12th round.
And made it look like a knockdown.
And made it look like a knockdown. And he didn't. He held the punch. And the fight ended, in my opinion, the way that this fight ended was really representative of both of these fights. The fight ended at the bell with Gennady lifting Canelo's head with an uppercut and snapping his neck back.
Now, go and tell them about what you told me with the cards.
This is what I was just gonna go. So
I'm in your head.
So let's talk about this. 24 rounds, of which pretty much everybody agrees with the idea that that Gennady Golovkin dominated the first fight. 24 rounds. And in the second, 12 rounds of that first fight. And in the second fight, 90% of the writers and people ringside scored the fight for Golovkin. The judges have 1 out of 6 have had Gennady Golovkin win 1 card out of 6 cards for both fights. This is insane. And boxing wonders why UFC is always nipping at their heels and eating their lunch. This is a serious problem. And they're going to have to figure out something if they want to run their hustle, which obviously we know they do. They got to get smarter with it. And I think that this time, what they did, this time, what they did, which was very interesting, was they ran their hustle tightly. Last time it was so obvious with Adelaide Bird, 118 to 110.
She turned her card in before the fight.
Her card was already in. And with that, everybody was so up in arms that it was very interesting that this time they made it tighter. And there was even a slip of the tongue from Golden Boy partner Bernard Hopkins at the post conference, if anybody wants to go watch it, because he was talking about how great of an adjustment that Canelo made and how great of a champion was. And Bernard said, this is a great example of seeing how a guy takes a loss and then takes an adjustment and figures out how to tighten up.
He sure did.
What loss did he take?
Right.
Officially, it was a draw, right? Everybody knows. Just stop. This is my problem. Even if you guys are running a kung fu hustle on everybody,
Canelo knows.
Just make it clear. And you know what? Canelo, I don't think he knows, but he's going to find out as he fights other A fighters in the 160 weight class. And honestly, there's some guys that if he wants to do a catch weight at 57 or whatever, who got worked for him. He don't want to fight Jared Hurd, man.
No.
Jared Hurd's a big kid.
Well, there's a lot of guys out there that I don't think that he'll be competitive with because he has a problem with athletic guys.
He has I agree.
And that's why.
Which is why Arizona Lara gave him fits.
Right. And so,
but he's a great fighter. And this is the other thing.
No, it's not.
I don't want it to come off like I'm anti-Canelo because I actually have a great deal of respect for Canelo.
Yeah, he really showed up, showed heart, and I really feel like he's a good fighter. I don't feel like he's a great fighter. A lot of people want to put him up there with Chavez and all the greats and stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
That's too far.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, he hasn't fought the caliber of fighters that, Chavez fought, so we can't even speak on stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But he's a good fighter, and especially in this era where you can control or, pretty much pick the fights that you're going to take. And even in this environment where they're handpicking, and then with the status that he has carrying that organization, he doesn't have to worry about close decisions. The inside.
He's gonna get any close decision.
Yeah, and the inside.
And I would love to see him fight outside of Las Vegas.
Yes,
but I don't know if it matters because the sway that the camp has, I don't know. Now, Oscar De La Hoya wrote a very pointed letter at everyone saying that there was any sort of bias, saying he had nothing to do with it. A lot of people heard me because I was sitting right behind Oscar and heard me trolling him around the 10th round. And I said, hey, man, you can't feel good about the direction of this fight. And he said, what do you mean? It's 6'4" Canelo. Yeah. Now, if it's 6'4" Canelo after 10 on Oscar's card and Gennady clearly won 11 and 12, I don't even know how we don't get to a draw. At best, you give Canelo a draw. At the very best for him.
I can't give him a draw.
I can't. He didn't take the champ's belt.
Well, he took the champ's belt, but he didn't take him the way that you're supposed to take him.
I agree.
In the ring.
I agree.
Mano y mano.
Very disappointing. Going to read some tweets because a lot of people have something to say, which is Triple G dominated, controlled the fight from start to finish. It wasn't close at all. Triple G clearly outboxed Canelo, landed the cleaner and more effective shots, 8-4 Triple G. Then I have
8-4.
And then I have somebody who said, N-word, you ain't never boxed in your life. Who made you the go-to guy? LMAO. And who are you? Oh, 8 Mile ass N-word. Sit your fat ass down.
I guess he let you have it.
I'm guessing that he doesn't necessarily care for my analysis of of the fight. Then we got somebody else climbing in with we got the fight replaying. Sorry. Then we got somebody else climbing in with Triple G boxing got his ass beat up. Simple as that. While he was busy throwing sissy jabs, Canelo pounded Triple G's face and body with power punches. Triple G's face says it all. And here we go. I mean, this is a very, very interesting thing. Got a Marine, Jesse Diaz, here saying there's a tale of the tape and a tale of the picks. I don't necessarily agree with that at all. There is definitely a bias, though. I will say this: there's a lot of home cooking going on, because as they should, a lot of the Latinos feel like Canelo won, and I mean, I understand it. I can get it. Somebody else said round 7 to 9 are the most debatable, not just 12. Take off your Triple G goggles first. Get the F over it. Canelo won. Your ass better just hope everything works out with the Ricky Jarrett situation, or your ass is toast. It's a nice tie in the ballers there, David Jeriquai. I like that. I like how you moved. That was funny. Somebody said that's not how judges score boxing. Being the champ doesn't matter, which is ridiculous because it does matter.
Or why would you be the champ?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Somebody else said, can I give Omar Miller all the credit for the Rams being good? I said, yes, I'll take that. Someone said it's a joke. Triple G beat him twice, but has one of 6 cards to show for it. The 2 115, 113 cards gave Canelo the 9th and the 12th. Silly. I got somebody else from, matter of fact, my man Antoine that was on Ballers, another actor, who said, thank you, O. I was trying to figure out, and I was telling all my people, what the F is going on here? What are these guys watching? Clearly he won the fight. That man beat dude twice and got a draw and an L. Also, people could pay more to watch another fight. There's a point, just like in society, there seems to be a point when this stuff just goes too far, and it rubs people the wrong way. And I think we may be nearing that point.
Yeah, you know what? My problem is more so than anything is like all the fans out there that are, if I like Gennady, but if I see Gennady lose a fight,
I have to say he lost the fight.
I'll say that he lost the fight.
Yeah.
But I don't want that nasty dub. I want my dub to be
clear
cut.
Yeah, that wasn't clear Texas beef, boy. That was not approved by Texas Rex Tillerson.
That was
damn it,
New York strip.
What is this, lamb? This lamb chop? Give me some red meat and some beef,
sissy.
Yeah, and so that's that. We had some other interesting news that popped off, which was it looked like Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather ran into each other at a concert, which didn't look staged because Manny looked confused.
He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll fight you.
You're Floyd Mayweather." It looked like
want to fight
exact again. And now the rumor mill is swirling around about whether they're actually going to fight.
Well, it's not a rumor mill, is it? Floyd has made a statement.
Floyd has made a statement, but from what I hear from the word on the curb, they're saying Floyd is trying to lowball Manny.
Of course.
At which point Manny is now saying, that's cool, I'll go fight Mikey Garcia. How about that?
Ooh. Does Mikey want that?
Mikey actually is one of the people talking crazy about Canelo winning the fight, which I thought was interesting. Mikey and Robert. I don't know about that. I think Mikey should stay at 135 and make the fight with Loma, but they won't do it. Mikey wants to fight everybody.
Yeah.
Mikey wants to go to 147 for some reason. I really hope Robert doesn't go for that.
Yeah, he's small.
Yeah.
Naturally.
And I actually would like to see that fight between Earl Spence and Canelo, to be honest, because Earl Spence is a big 47.
And he will destroy his body.
He is the body snatcher. Met the body snatcher this weekend.
Yeah,
it was very nice to meet Earl Spence. He was there with the whole home team, the Charlo boys, which was cool. I just love to see these young guys taking advantage of their time and, enjoying it. What's not to enjoy? Go get it. So we have that. That's very interesting, and it's gonna be interesting to see what develops there. And then we had the big boys chopped in this weekend. A big boy, and your man Anthony Joshua. Most people consider him to be the best heavyweight fighting right now, and he showed himself to be very vulnerable against Alexander Povetkin.
Yeah, and that's not a problem to me. For some reason, everybody has
the new world.
Yeah, and for some reason, everybody has a problem when somebody has a problem. This is life. Yeah.
And when you fight A fighters, you're supposed to have a problem because they're A fighters.
Right. And he's a known juicer.
Yes.
So, but Povetkin gave him a problem, and what
I haven't. I'll have to be honest. I haven't seen the fight yet, but I saw the highlights, and I saw Anthony Joshua leaking in the second round.
Yeah, it looked like Povetkin might have broke his nose in the second round.
Was it a jab or was it a straight?
It was maybe an uppercut, or maybe it was a straight. But the thing of it is that for me, he gets more experience every time he fights someone.
He's getting valuable rounds
from high caliber.
He got valuable rounds against Joe Parker. He's getting valuable rounds against Povetkin. One major advantage that he has is he's always bigger than everybody.
Man,
and
you know what?
Super athletic.
Yeah, but he fought small last night, which is
really.
Oh, he got down to Povetkin's size. He had a game plan. He talked about it after the fight, and he knew that he had to take punishment so that he can get in there and get his body. And man, he spoke about it, and afterwards, he's such a nice guy. It seems like it, because when he spoke about the fight and talking about fighting Deontay Wilder and everything, he literally said, "Let's quit talking about it. Let's just do it. Everybody knows who we want to fight and who they want to see. I'm here for the fans." He said, "If they want to see me fight whoever, I'll fight them."
And in a very gracious show of respect, he showed up after the fight, and I'm sure everybody's seen that clip where he goes to Povetkin's locker room and gives him a hug and bows and says, "Hey, man, thank you. Respect for the fight. That was really classy," and showed love to his whole team. And spoke about coming to Russia to visit and the whole nine.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very cordial. It's nice to see some class in boxing. That's one of the things that I really like about watching Joshua fight.
Yeah, because he's not crass. He doesn't, he's got class. I don't know what he does out the ring, but in the ring, he's very professional, and he takes care of his business, and he looks great doing it.
Yeah, yeah. So you felt like, although he was vulnerable, you still...
I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with people getting knocked down.
Yeah, neither do I.
I have a problem with you losing and not wanting to come back and fight again. That would be a problem. But people lose. You're supposed to lose all the time, not handpicking your fights so that you don't lose.
Well, there's that old adage, the undefeated boxer has just not fought enough people yet.
Right. But if you fight the right caliber, the right talent, you'll eventually get your loss and you'll end up on your back. And there's nothing wrong with that. Getting up is the big difference for champions. You know what I'm saying? Champions get off the ground. Like when Klitschko put him on his back and he got up off the mat and he told Klitschko.
Just like Klitschko told him.
Yeah.
When Klitschko got up and got
I'm a champ.
Hey, man, I've been a champ for a long time.
Yeah. And I get off the floor.
Yeah, that's part of the deal.
It's not you shouldn't be embarrassed. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a new era. It's a new era of boxing, and they've ushered in. I'm not crazy for it myself. They've ushered in these unwritten rules.
You can't take a loss.
Yeah,
you can't get knocked down.
Yeah,
you
can't get knocked down and win a fight. Imagine.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, right?
You know what? It's like now, if you get knocked down and you don't knock the other guy out, people think you can't win the fight.
And also for me, which we just got through talking about with Gennady, is that I need to see you take the champ's belt. You have to do something extraordinary.
I need to see that your skills are
extraordinary. Other than that, I can't give you that.
Shout out to Enter the Dragon.
I can't give you that dude's belt.
Can't do it.
Come on, man.
I can't do it.
Especially on a
guys
fight.
Guys are working hard for their belts.
Yeah, the thing was tight like that. I mean, like I said, Gennady put it all on the line. He put his belts on the line. Canelo got caught juicing twice. He came out first. I mean,
sacrifices the national anthem.
Yeah, come on, man.
For some reason, even though they had plenty of time. Very interesting situation. Very happy to see the state of boxing as far as the fights that are being made, though.
Right.
Because fights are being made that you wanted to see. I wanted to see this Triple G Canelo rematch. I want to see this Wilder Fury fight that's coming up.
I think it's going to be a weird fight.
I think it's going to be weird. I think it's going to take a while. But I think that
now they don't have a location for that yet, though, right?
No, but I keep hearing it could be Los Angeles because Tyson Fury came out and after the Triple G Canelo fight and said, "I don't want to fight in Las Vegas.
Right.
I'm down to fight in the States. I don't want to fight in Las Vegas because I can't get a fair shake. And if we do have to fight in Las Vegas, we need to have one European judge, one American judge, and one South American judge." He said something that made a lot of sense. Yeah. So I don't know where that is. I'm hoping it ends up in L.A. It'll be great to have the big fellas clashing in L.A.
Right. I just wish there were more quality heavyweights out there. I love the heavyweight division.
So you're telling me I should get in shape?
You have other things to do.
Oh, dang it. All right, I'll pass on the brain damage.
I mean, you got a lot of stuff. What do you got?
I got a lot of stuff going on.
Advantage Omar.
Got the Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtles.
Oh, how about them Ninja Turtles?
Ballers.
Folks? Anybody that's anybody that is is or has been watching Nickelodeon the past week, if you have kids or if you're just a super fan, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles seems to be well received so far. I'm very happy about it. If not, check it out. I voice Rafael. It's a lot of fun.
I don't even think it's a kid thing. I love animation, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I love it. I love all kind of animation.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Good times had by all. So we got that. Moving on. How about that? The Patriots just took back-to-back losses for the first time in about 100 years.
They don't have. They feel like they can bring in anybody plug and play, and it doesn't work really.
Very interesting. But we got Next Victim on the line. Next Victim wants to talk about college. We missed his picks this past week because we were on the road. Let's see what he has to say.
Yo.
Next Victim, live on the Ozone, keeping it chill. How you feeling this weekend? You sound like the Quiet Storm.
That was a hard next victim.
Oh, yeah. It's all good. Just chilling.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, and nothing wrong with your college predictions normally. Now, we missed you this past weekend because we were out and about making some content for tennis. But I wanted to see if you had a chance to watch the fight or the fight replay and just get a quick take on it before we jump into college football, because that's what we're just wrapping up now.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Well, first of all, who do you think won the fight?
I had Triple G 7-5, 115, 113.
Interesting. And what made you feel that way?
Basically, I'm thinking that we're watching the fight 2 times now. I just didn't see where Triple G was in any type of trouble. I feel like he still had control of the fight. There were some, 5 rounds apparently that I would go 10-9 for Canelo. Canelo was doing an excellent job with pounding Triple G's body.
He was committed.
He was committed. He was committed with going forward. He was committed with making the crowd and the judges with the optical illusion that he was going to win the fight by throwing the right punches, by going forward, by throwing the haymakers to the body or, over Triple G's head. But I don't think that he had any control of the fight at any time.
Okay. Well, there it is. I mean, you're preaching to the choir right now, because I felt the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And
what did Icons think about it? He's always off the edge and going the opposite. But
no, not that he's not a contrarian. Well, he's a contrarian to the judges this time, but it's all good. You'll check it out when you hear the cast. Lay it on us. What you got? How did you feel about the college action this week? I saw USC was in a dogfight. They barely escaped by the hairs on their chinny chin chin. And what else did you like this weekend? And what do you got coming up for this week?
All right, so we'll do a quick one for this week. This weekend was Bama was over number 22, Texas A&M. We had number 2, Georgia over Mizzou. We had number 5, Oklahoma Young Sooners over Army in overtime. That was, let me say this real quick. With college football and even with the NFL, now the teams are gelling, so the games are going to get a lot more...
A lot tighter, a lot more competitive games.
Less blowouts, absolutely.
Okay.
So we had at number 6, my boys, LSU over La Tech. We had number 7, Stanford, go to Eugene, Oregon, over number 20 and pull off the win.
Oh, wow. Stanford got that dub. Stanford's looking serious, huh?
Stanford is serious business. We've been saying it on the Ozone for years. They play the right style of football.
Yep.
Put 7 in the box.
Where there's no place better to go to school, in my opinion, if you have the option, whether you have the means or whether you get a scholarly, from going to school in the Bay Area, honest to God, and I'm talking about across the country, I'll take the Stanford Cardinals if that was a school that I could have gone to over anywhere. It's a fantastic campus. It's got a diverse spot, and they have monster athletics. Their baseball team is real. Their football team is real. Forget about the girls' basketball was through the roof forever.
Right. Everything was right about it.
Everything was
the Ivy League of, the Pacific of the West Coast.
It's the West Coast Ivy League, and the AKA parties were on point.
Woo!
Shout out to Ski Weeds. Shout out to all my Ski Weeds listening out there.
Subject. We had number 9 Auburn over Arkansas. Number 24, my boys, Michigan State, went to Indiana and put hands on them. Number 10, Washington pulled it off over Arizona Herm State. Some big upsets was Kentucky was over number 14, Mississippi State, and Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, was over OK State, Oklahoma State. So to rewind to the week before, since I'm still hot on my pick list, we had number 22. If y'all remember, I said I'm done with SC. I'm done dealing with the home team. Week 3 in college football, number 22 USC went to Texas and lost. Number 4, Ohio State was over. I called that one over TCU. I called number 12, LSU, over number 7, Auburn. That was my money pick. And them LSU, Les Miles, old school Tigers pulled it off.
Right.
The one that I lost was number 17, Boise State, losing to who? Oklahoma State.
Right.
And a big upset that week was BYU over Wisconsin. Number 2, Clemson, and number 3, Georgia, both came in with the wins.
So then who do you like this week? So I can put together my card if I have to sneak out to Vegas.
Ooh, Big Ezo this week is going down.
Okay. That's what I want to talk about right now. Not just now, right now.
Right now. So this week, let's just call this ranked weekend.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of, ranked teams playing against ranked teams. So we got number 2, Georgia, over Tennessee. We got number 20, BYU, going over Washington. We got number 19, Oregon, over number 24, Cal. We got Clemson, my boys, them Tigers, Dabo Swinney and them going to Syracuse. We got, and this is where it gets real at. So we got number 12, West Virginia, playing against Texas Tech. I'm going with West Virginia on this one. West Virginia like to spread the ball around. They run and gun. They gonna put numbers up. My upset this week.
Who's the upset pick?
Virginia Tech, not ranked, but earlier in the beginning of the college football season, Virginia Tech put hands on Miami. Virginia Tech is real, but they're playing against number 22 Duke. Scary part is we haven't seen Duke on any networks playing, so we don't know what they're capable.
We don't know how real they are.
We don't know, but I've seen Virginia Tech play. We've seen them play, and I'm rolling with them.
The Big Tech pick of the week, upset Central. You heard it here first on the Ozone.
Got some more on the Ozone.
Let's go.
So, number 4, Ohio State. That's all we gonna say. We ain't gonna get into the allegations, nothing that Ohio State.
Yeah. That you can catch that on Ballers, by the way.
Cool. Shout out to Ballers. Mm-hmm. They going into Penn State. Number 9, Penn State. It's going to be a whiteout. They wear the all whites. I got Penn State going over, winning over Ohio State.
You think Penn State takes care of the house, they protect the house, and they're not impressed with the turmoil and with Urban Meyer's second game back? This will be his second game back, right?
Second game. Penn State is saying, don't bring that shit to my house.
And, man, I know that running back they got, their ground game is real. That kid can catch it and run it.
Real.
Yeah.
So I think the weather's going to play, some issues with it, but this is one game definitely I'm getting my popcorn, getting some ice cream, and I'm chilling and watching this game. Then we got number 7, Stanford. EPA. We just talked about Stanford.
Palo Alto in the house.
They're playing against number 8, Notre Dame. We got to roll with the West Coast. We got to roll with Stanford.
Best Coast. Now, are they playing in Palo Alto or are they playing out in South Bend?
They playing in South Bend.
Ooh, and you still like the Cardinal.
I still like the Cardinal. We seen what them East Palo Alto boys can do.
Yeah, buddy.
So I'm rolling with Stanford. And then we got Ole Miss playing my other boys, LSU, them Tigers, number 5. This game is going to be scary because LSU, they like to play in the fourth quarter. They don't like to play, the first three quarters.
I got LSU in this game. Who you going upset city?
Nah. It's just going to be close. So if I like to play just a straight up win or loss. I don't like to do the odds or nothing.
Yeah, you don't like the spread.
I don't like the spread, but if you're gonna fool with this one, always bet against LSU not to
not cover
the spread. Yep.
Okay.
So that's all I got for college football this
Listen,
week. I'm
listen,
not
this is
touching
a robust. That's a robust card right there. I appreciate that, and we're gonna come back to you next week and see how you did, and see if you owe me a couple $100.
Yeah.
I still owe you that.
Right. And then also explain the popcorn and ice cream. That's a good combination. That's like
hey,
what kind of ice cream?
What did he say? He said he was eating popcorn.
Pecan.
Yeah. You like that butter pecan?
I like that butter pecan.
All right, sugar victim. Oh my goodness.
God damn.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, man. We'll catch up with you coming up soon. And it's always a pleasure to have you and your picks on the Ozone.
Likewise, y'all.
Peace.
Out.
Oh, man. That's great. Next victim coming through with some clutch picks. So, folks, the other thing that was happening this past weekend was the Laver Cup. And it's a brand new tennis tournament. We were out in Chicago to cover it. And there was some great tennis that took place. It's a new deal where you have Roger Federer and Rod Laver, the Rocket, largely considered to be the best tennis player of the 20th century, Rod Laver, the Australian, have put together a tournament that takes tennis kind of like the Davis Cup and makes tennis a team sport. And this go around, it was really, really cool. Last year, one of the things that happened was we got to see Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal play doubles, which was a really big deal. And the world wanted to see that. And it's a situation where they sell it like, look, rivals come closer. Rivals become closer this year. And this go around, they had Team World versus Team Europe. And let me tell you who's on Team World. I'll start with Team Europe. Team Europe is insane. The coach is Bjorn Borg, which is awesome, by the way. Thomas Imkis is the vice captain. And then the team consisted of Jeremy Chardy as an alternate in case anybody got hurt, Kyle Edmund, David Goffin, Novak Djokovic, Grigor Dimitrov, Sasha Zverev, and Roger Federer, the GOAT. You think it's going to be a walk because they're playing Team World, who has the South African Kevin Anderson, the American Big John Isner, Diego Schwartzman, Jack Sock, Nick Kyrgios, Francis Tiafoe, and Nicholas Jarry, who is the alternate, who was captained by John McEnroe and vice-captained by his brother Patrick McEnroe. Well, it started off as you would expect, and Team Europe jumped out to a big lead when all of a sudden Team World decided, you know what, I'm not here to mess around. And it's great because it's an exhibition, so it's a non-traditional tournament. So they encourage everyone to be emotional. And I think this is another situation where tennis may want to look at the way that it is that the game works. Because the players were emotional. They were fist pumping and running and doing the worm on the ground and going and
they were acting like they actually enjoyed it.
They were acting like they enjoyed the game, which is great. And they did that. They acted like they enjoyed the game, and they allowed the crowd to act like they enjoyed the game. And it was nice because it was big time tennis in Chicago. And honestly, the crowd wasn't anywhere near as stiff or cultured, if you will, to the ways and etiquette of tennis as the rest of the Grand Slams and all the other tournaments. So there was a lot of talking going on during the match play, which was great. I loved that. And
I don't understand why you could play something without, you can't hear noise.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Quiet, please. I mean you.
And then what was hilarious was the ump and the announcer didn't even know the etiquette because he was like, be quiet, please. It was great. Anyways, so today, I don't know if you got to watch it today,
I did.
if you got to watch the end of it. It came down to it. And Team World had bounced back, and they were literally on the verge of a win. John Isner versus Roger Federer. John Isner took the first set from Roger Federer and in the second set had 3 match points. Roger Federer came back and clutched up and fought off 3 match points, then took it to a tiebreak, then beat him, which put them ahead for Team Europe, and Sasha Zverev ended it out. And he came out and he beat up on Kevin Anderson and also another one that went the distance. Just a great, great tournament. If you guys haven't heard of it or if you want to go back and watch this one, you can catch the footage on Tennis Channel. Great thing. Laver Cup, brand new. It's only a 3-day tournament. Some of the best players in the world. It's great. Shout out to Gael Monfils because Monfils actually picked up the title in Tokyo today.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I was happy about that. I hope he gets his body together and his mind together and then lives up to his potential. So that was nice. And now let's talk about the world of professional football. As we just stated a second ago, surprisingly to many people, the Patriots are in trouble. They just got dominated by the Detroit Lions, and they lost.
Got exposed more so than with Tom Brady not being able to hit a couple of open receivers. They were very susceptible to the run today.
Yeah, and it seemed like Rob Patricia knew that. It seemed like today Rob Patricia finally earned his paycheck.
Right. He actually ran the ball down their throat with that kid, that rookie. What's his name? Kerryon Jones, I do believe.
Kerryon Johnson.
Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah.
And
runs all over the pass.
And LeGarrette Blount. How many yards did he end up with?
Ended up with more than 100.
First time since, I think, 2013.
Since 2013. This kid ran amok. He ended up with 101 yards. 101 on the nose.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I think that what we're watching, depending on whether or not, because the other big news that we didn't get to cover was Josh Gordon to the Patriots. And if Josh Gordon can ever rekindle that flame of when he was good in 2014 or 13, and if there's anywhere that he can do it, it will be New England. And if he can rekindle that, that'll be very serious. But they got to do something about the defense, just straight up.
Yeah, they have
no Trucker Dave isn't feeling it.
Yeah, and Patrick Chung is hurt, I do believe. They have a couple of people hurt, but I just think that they have a bad scheme right now, and they lost personnel as far as coaches and players. And I just feel like sometimes they get caught up in their own ego, where you feel like you can just grab anybody off the street and
100%
and win. And
this is why success is so dangerous.
Yeah,
is because you start to feel yourself. It's just human nature. It is what it is. We had the Saints and Drew Brees go over the Falcons.
Ooh, that was a battle. That was
in Atlanta.
Yeah, that was a shootout.
Yeah.
Julio Jones still didn't get a touchdown.
And, Atlanta definitely missed Devonta Freeman in this game because they could have potentially ran some sort of ball control if they wanted to during this back and forth.
You know what, though? Tevin Coleman.
Tevin Coleman
actually does better against them than Devonta Freeman.
I believe it, but Devonta Freeman's the kind of back that if you want to, you can milk the clock as opposed to the run and gun, and obviously Drew Brees is putting up points.
Your boy Matty put some points up today.
Finally.
He hit that rookie for, 3 touches?
Finally.
Don't hate.
I mean, he's on my team. I need help.
Don't hate.
Baltimore,
all love.
Keeping it pause. Baltimore showed up and beat the snot out of Denver in Baltimore.
Why were they even playing?
I don't know. Same thing for Carolina and Cincinnati. Some of these games are like, do they just play just so that these cities can have a team to root for?
I think so, but Cam Newton had a game.
Cam Newton is a stud.
Yeah, he is a stud. Ran for 2, threw for 2.
What else you want from him?
And don't have any receivers.
and then people are constantly trying to go helmet to helmet with him.
And they do go helmet to helmet. You got to go along with it.
Yeah, unbelievable. The Giants pulled out a win against your man Deshaun. What happened?
Man, the Giants actually have decent defense, and they're not getting any credit for it. And they got that young kid over there, Saquon Barkley, who's trying to run amok on the league. But you know what? The Giants aren't going anywhere either.
No, the Giants aren't going anywhere. Neither is Houston. And unfortunately, surprisingly, seems like Blake Bortles came back to earth today, huh?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I had him in my lineup.
And it's unfortunate because I had Keenan Cole, and they didn't put up any touches.
Yeah, 6-9. You're not supposed to be in a defensive struggle with
Come on,
Tennessee.
man. These are baseball games now. These are baseball. These are Red Sox scores nowadays.
Tennessee.
Lord, I could have been so good. So, yeah, that didn't work out right for Jacksonville. Especially Tennessee is not like losing Delaney Walker, and you're definitely not supposed to be at home in a defensive struggle against Tennessee.
Come on, man.
But I know that the Jacksonville defense had to be like, we give up 9 points and lost?
Come on. But
it's not acceptable.
They lost to Tennessee.
They lost 9-6.
I thought they beat Tennessee 9-6.
No, they lost 9-6.
Come on, man. And Leonard Fournette, unfortunate that this kid has been in the league for not even a year yet total. And he can't stay healthy.
His body can't seem to pull it together.
And I think that's one of the things that hurt them, especially since they lost their receivers. They lost Allen Robinson and Allen Hurns. Hurns is on Dallas. And what about Dallas?
Oh, man, what about Dallas? Jeez Louise.
How you
Cowboy
lose to
Kev
Seattle?
has to be dying right now.
How you going to lose to Seattle?
They're not serious. And this has to do with the turmoil that goes on and off the field there. And with when you're talking about whether it's the wife beating or the letting go of a guy that seems to be beloved in the clubhouse or the sunken place mentality about the kneeling. There's a lot to unpack about the Cowboys that seems to be spilling over onto the field because they have personnel and they just aren't getting the job done.
You done a lot of unpacking today.
Got to do it. Got to do it. I'm just fresh off the road.
I see that.
And so, speaking of which, unfortunately, somebody who's got to pack it in is probably going to be Jimmy Garoppolo. They're talking torn ACL.
He's got a torn ACL. Season over.
Wow,
it's real.
Football is real.
And he didn't even get hit like that. I mean,
the ACL is tricky. It's angles more so than force.
Yeah, and you saw,
unless you get one of those crazy Napoleon Coffin kind of football
right,
injuries,
nobody
where they blast your knee backwards.
Yeah, but he was running and then he cut out and then tried to go forward. You can see before impact he had already done it.
That was a bad look.
Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes was still Patrick Mahomes, by the way.
Lit the league up. But he's going to have to learn how to close the games out more so. And I'm not going to say that he's going to have to because that's on your boy.
Andy Reid, they're never going to win. Andy Reid just doesn't want.
Got so much talent out there
every year,
and
every year Andy Reid has a ton of talent.
There's no reason to put up those type of points and then stay there in the first half. He had 3 touches before the first half was over, and that was it.
Come on, man. And
they don't have good defense.
Yes, no, they don't, and neither do the Raiders. By the way, yeah.
Why are you surprised?
The Raiders are 0-3, and John Gruden had the nerve to say that they have a hard time getting pressure on the quarterback.
We need a pass rush.
This is unbelievable, folks. You can't
pass rush.
If you saw this on a television show I was on, you'd tell me that it was too on the nose, that it would be ridiculous. You trade the best defensive player in football, and then you talk about how you need a pass rush. I mean, I wonder where you can get one of those guys.
They grow on trees. Go pick one.
Unbelievable.
Back there on the tree.
Miami took it to the Raiders in Miami. Clove Live at the stadium was popping, I'm sure. A big surprise today was Buffalo beating Minnesota in Minnesota.
Yeah, and they actually this was something that I did not know at all, which really doesn't say a lot, but Minnesota actually has a hard time against Buffalo, and it's a known fact. I think they said that they've lost the last 5 out of 8 or something crazy.
Something wild like that. And speaking of Buffalo, the other thing is the homie Vontae Davis retired last week at halftime.
I like it.
And a lot of people, you're the contrarian. Why do you like it?
Because he was in the middle of a war and just decided that he didn't have enough to give. He didn't want to hurt the squad. And then he didn't want to bring the team down, so he just decided to wrap his up in the middle of the game instead of going out there hurting somebody, getting hurt, or making the team lose.
And now I'm actually with you on this. The only problem is the way that it goes left is how he left the stadium at halftime.
He's not playing anymore. Why do you have to say that? What am I supposed to do? You want to buy a ticket? You want to sit in the stands? I'm finished. I'm gone. I'm to the house. I'm in the love zone. I'm back with my girl. I'm at the house.
Girl, life is good. The only problem that I have with that is nobody knew what was going on. Oh. Now, in this situation, football, like boxing, it's very difficult. Boxing, you can't play boxing. Football, you play, but if you play too much, you'll be walking around.
If you're lucky, you'll be walking around.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you never lied. If you're lucky, you'll be walking around at all. And then if not, you may be walking around with CTE.
Right.
And
it's not worth it.
I can see a guy, and he said it came down on him like a ton of bricks when he realized I shouldn't be out here anymore. And I respect him for making the decision. I know Vontae. He's a great guy, and he's got a great wife, a great family. I just, I wish it wouldn't. I wish this wasn't the thing that would define his career, because it will be. And I wish it didn't go down the way that it did. I wish he would have just stayed, and he could have just told the team and hung out on the sideline. But, it is what it is. And when the spirit moves you, you got to make moves. And I don't know if he calculated all of that properly.
I don't agree with him standing on the sideline, where you stand on the sideline, then everybody comes up and, what's wrong? What you ain't playing? I don't want to hear all that. I'm gone.
I don't want to hear that. But then he could have also been in the locker room if that was the case.
Where did he go? Now everybody.
Crib.
Yeah, but
he went to the crib.
No, but I'm saying everybody's asking that question.
Yeah, but they wouldn't. They would have been able to ask him. He could have made his statement after the game.
He made a statement during the game.
Damn, ice cold.
I'm with Vontae.
Ice cold. Wow.
People just want that for their own personal thing.
I hear you.
He's doing what's best for him and his family.
And nobody really cares.
And nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
You go out there to the game and then end up getting hurt, like I said.
Breaking your neck. Or get somebody else hurt, which would probably make you feel worse because you weren't paying
I
attention.
Been out here.
I knew I shouldn't even been out here. Philly beat Indy, a little bit tighter than it should have been, in my opinion. Your boy Adrian Peterson got back on the horse and ran all over Green Bay.
Green Bay's not good.
They're not good, and also they're trying to get all the help that they can from the league. But the league, another terrible penalty called, not for Aaron Rodgers today, but against Clay Matthews. There's just no way to sack a quarterback gently. And this is what they're asking for.
I was watching the game earlier, and it wasn't even a sack. It was just, it was not the game that you're talking about.
Oh.
There was another play that was, as a matter of fact, that was the Dallas Cowboy game. Dak Prescott the guy was coming in hard, and then Dak let the ball go, and his momentum pushed him into Dak, and they called roughing the passer. And Troy Aikman and all of the guys they got on nobody likes it. They said that even the commission doesn't like it. They're trying to figure out how to fix it because it's a problem. It hurts the quality of the game. And you can't have that kind of product out there. It's the FFL right now, the Flag Football League, because you can't sit there and just not have these guys touch each other if I'm going to watch professional football. I mean, it's a collision sport. You know that when you turn it on, you know that if you go to the game, now you can't be surprised when somebody gets hit. And now we're going to be so sensitive that we can't touch the quarterbacks. Look at him. It's that in his writer. Don't look at me.
This is what I was saying, and this is where I felt like President Cheeto is really effective by making people not like the NFL to a certain degree, so that if he stays out of prison, he'll be able to jump into the XFL at his leisure, because people want to see this violence, just like it's part of the reason that people want to see it in the UFC. People like the MMA and UFC because it's violent, and also because you never have a question on who won the game.
Man, forget about the UFC and everything. People like to see accidents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure do. People like to see train wrecks.
Yeah, you sit in traffic for 2 hours and just get up there and everybody's getting their people if somebody in an accident. And this is the same thing. You know, people want to turn it on and see the action, and the NFL's not giving it to you right now. They already went corporate with all the passing rules where you can't touch the receiver. This guy's running the 4 flat, and I don't know where he's going or anything. I can't touch him. I can't. So, I mean, they're going to have to fix the product.
They're going to have to figure something out because this isn't working the right way, and it's going to water it down to the point where we know you want an offensive league. We get it. But it's defense and wins championships, and maybe this is what John Gruden was thinking when he got rid of Khalil Mack. Who knows?
I wasn't thinking, that's for sure.
Ram time rolled over the Chargers as expected. You know what? Could just be the Rams' year. This is going to be an interesting thing, and I think I'm going to take it out to the stadium. As the acting Rams GM, I think it's only right for me to go to the game on Thursday against the Vikings. Should be a good one.
He got Marcus Peters? He got hurt, and so did your man.
Speaking of getting hurt, this is what I wanted to move to Major League Baseball so we can wrap it up quick. It's almost playoff time, folks. Basically, the playoff picture is pretty clear, and it looks like because the West, the East, and the Central in the American League have been decided. It's your Boston Red Sox will end the season with the best record in baseball, winning the East for the second or third consecutive year.
As I stated, J.D. Martinez would be the difference in the beginning of the year.
Sure did.
When everybody around talking about Stanton.
And yeah, this is true. You can run that tape back, folks, if you want to go back to early April. And also, everybody runs around talking about Arizona trying to get in the playoffs. Sign J.D. Martinez, man. Why would you guys add J.D. Martinez? Just give the man, and you want to lowball him.
You want to get the working man's J.D. Martinez, which is Steven Souza.
Instead of getting the prime time J.D. Martinez, which is J.D. Martinez, which is Angus beef, which gets you the best record in baseball if you play it the right way.
Yes.
Because he's durable, he's in his peak right now, and he makes everybody better. And you've now slid in a right-handed Big Papi to that lineup,
that's all they needed.
That was all. That's what they missed last year
offensively.
Yeah. That's what they needed offensively.
The pitching is what's going to hold them back because they're going to have a hard time getting by any of these serious contenders like Cleveland.
Cleveland has pitching. That's what they got, and Cleveland's going to have to end up unfortunately playing the Astros in the first
good night,
round.
It was a good night for you to come out.
And what remains to be seen is
who has to play the Oakland A's?
It's going to be the Yankees. They're going to have to play him, and the Yankees took a massive blow today because they're talking about Didi Gregorius is out for the playoffs. They're not going to beat anybody without Didi Gregorius, in my opinion.
They can move Gleeper over to.
They could, but Didi, if you look at last season in the postseason, Didi put them on his back.
Difference
basically.
maker.
Because he's a good player. It's not just flash and dash.
Well, I think that's what's
all around.
Yeah, and I think that's going to hurt the Yankees as well. Is that Gary Sanchez? Although,
yeah, they're committed. He hurt him last year against the Astros.
Well, and they've written a book on him now, and now he's not even effective. He's not even close to 200. Yeah. So I don't know where they're going to get that production from because
and he also doesn't call a good game as a catcher. So
you don't like the game call.
I don't appreciate his game call, to be honest. So this is going to make it tough. In the National League, the only one that's been decided is the East. The Braves ran away with it this year, folks, and it's very, very impressive.
Good. I love
young boys look impressive. Honestly, they could come out of the National League.
They could.
It's not inconceivable. Just depends on if those young arms stay fresh long enough to make it all the way through the long season plus October. Fulton Awitz looked good the other day.
He's
Fulton
coming into his own.
Yeah, they need Sean Newcomb to step up because those young guys aren't scared. That's the thing. They actually remind me a lot of the Houston Astros. And if they had, if they could have traded for a Corey Kluber, they would be my favorite to win the whole thing.
Well, they got Gosman. Gosman's stepping up to the mic.
Gosman isn't a Corey Kluber, by the way.
No, he's not.
but he is stepping up. But there's I mean a vet. I feel like they need a vet presence. I still like the Cubs, even though. Man,
I like the
Milwaukee Brewers are nipping. The Milwaukee Brewers might win the Central.
Yeah.
Which would put the Cubs in a wild card situation that they don't want to be in. The Cubs need a series. I don't think the Cubs want to have – they don't have a dominant guy like that to put out there for a one game.
No.
But the Dodgers might be looking at that. The Dodgers are only 1.5 games up on the Rockies. But the Dodgers do have a dominant guy to put out there in a wild card game.
And they just played against the Padres and beat the.
And they play against the Padres. Teams like this, I do believe the rest of the season.
But I think the Rockies are going to play against the Padres as well.
Yeah,
the Rockies get back into Colorado, and there's no telling what
anything could happen.
Yeah,
anything.
But they play well out of Colorado this year as well. I just like the Rockies or Milwaukee to come out of the National League.
Side note: JD Martinez is going to be just a couple of batting average points short and a couple of home runs short of winning the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Chris Davis, you can't say enough about Chris Davis. I don't feel like we talk enough about Chris Davis.
No, he's a hidden gem.
He really is. He really is.
Yeah.
He seems like a good guy. He mashes baseballs. Forget about it. He has more homers than the last.
Only problem.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not in that major market. But he has more home runs, I think, the past, 5 years or something than anybody in baseball?
Yeah. Yeah, he gets the ball out of the yard.
And he's not a big guy like that, like a Stanton type, but he knocks him just as far as anybody.
He sure does, because it's hard to get home runs in Oakland.
Yeah.
And we had some incredible pitching this season. We'll cover it up on a sum up when the season is officially over. But Blake Snell really separated himself from the pack this year and made himself the elite pitcher that we all thought that he could be.
I think he's 21-5 now, right?
Come on, man. He struck out 11 guys and got his 21st win. This is dealing.
Cy Young, right?
That's Cy, right?
And they keep on talking about Chris Sale's in it. I don't understand how Chris Sale is
just because he strikes out a lot of guys, I think.
Yeah, but he's been hurt for like a quarter of the season now.
Yep. And Manny Machado hit another bomb, by the way. 37 on the year. Manny Machado or Francisco Lindor? Who you taking?
I'm taking Manny Machado.
All day?
Yeah. Manny Machado can play multiple positions. He runs well. He hits for average, and he hits for power.
So does Francisco Lindor.
Francisco Lindor doesn't play multiple positions
only because he hasn't had to.
But Manny Machado.
Yeah, Francisco. You don't think Francisco could play third base? Are you crazy?
I don't think so.
You don't think he can play second or third?
He can play second. I don't think he can play third. Manny Machado has the height. He doesn't have the height. I think that you need height to play third base.
Justin Turner is not tall.
Justin Turner's like 6'3".
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, he's not. Stop
JT, I'm serious.
Red Turn ain't 6'3", bro.
Yeah, let me look.
No way.
Red Turn. Red Turn.
We're gonna play something for you folks that we personally hold near and dear just because of who it is, and this is something special.
And this ball game is over. I've enjoyed it. Very much. I have enjoyed it. I've loved it. And I will never forget it.
Folks, that is legendary Chicago White Sox broadcaster Hawk Harrelson, and he retired today. This was the last game of his career, and he called a White Sox strikeout, unfortunately, the big homie Matt Davidson. And if you watch baseball, you've heard the Hawk, because you can say, you can put it on the board, yes!
He gone.
Hey, oh yeah! Sometimes they give you a Dr. Dre. He loved the White Sox, this guy, and I love listening to him call games. So, Hawk, I hope you ride out into the sunset. You know what? It's been great listening to you. It took me a while to find Hawk, to be honest. And it was, I love listening to call games. Yeah. I didn't watch a lot. Even when I watched the White Sox games, it was usually against the Cubs. And it was usually,
WGN.
Yeah, it was usually Steve Stone. Or it was
Stoner.
Yeah, a little Stoner. And then Stoner went down there to fool with him, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, your boy is Red Turn. I spoke with Fork Tongue, 5'11".
Yeah, I mean,
Lindor is 5'11".
That's what I'm saying. We've hung out with Red Turn. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You were thinking Red Turn is taller than you?
Yeah, right. That's crazy. I don't know where I got that from. But I know that Lindor's numbers. He had 104 strikeouts, 23 stolen bags, 89 ribeyes, 36 home runs.
Yeah.
And let me look up Machado.
Man, these numbers are crazy.
Okay, then, and you're nuts.
No, you can check it out, but don't sleep on Francisco's numbers.
I did not sleep on Francisco.
Wake up!
Let's see. Manny Machado, who's going to be one of the highest paid players in baseball.
Of all time.
Yeah. 295, 101 strikeouts, 14 stolen bags, 100 ribeyes, 37 bombs. No.
I mean, this is crazy production from the shortstop position.
And he's 6'3".
He is 6'3". Yeah. You got Manny on the mind. Well, folks, thanks for rocking with us. Sorry for the delay, but we're back in town. We'll get you another podcast out shortly. And I'm going to leave you with a quote, which is a Chinese proverb that says, experience is a comb which nature gives us when we are bald. Go out there and get yourself some experience, folks. We're all in this thing together. Be kind, be loving, enjoy yourselves. This is the Ozone.
Ozone.
I'm just living the dream. I'm in love with the lights. This is not just a game. This here is my life. Put the cameras on me, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah. Put the cameras on me, yeah.